Welcome back to Game Changers.
We got an extra guest.
Yes, that's right.
It's a four-man table right now.
Matthew Kachuk, the mouthpiece.
Does he have a black eye?
No.
No, he's got the mouth guard that he chews on hanging out of the mouth.
And the sternum's like back sewed together.
He doesn't borrow Curry's mouthpiece and chew on it when Curry's not playing, does he?
No.
Well, how can they do that? Could you play like that? Oh, you never played.
See, you're starting it with a shot already.
I wore the San Jose State
hockey.
jersey or shirt. I
played all sports growing up.
Did you play hockey?
All sports, recreationally, nothing at an overly high level, high school sports.
My bad.
That's not good enough for you as a former NFL player.
I thought you were a little more of a protected child. What do I know?
You thought right.
No, it wasn't like that back then.
You thought right.
You know back then, you just go and do
whatever it is.
When it's football season, you played football.
When it's hockey, you put the hose in the backyard and you go down.
Roller hockey right in the street.
There you go. That's what we used to do. Take the trash cans, put them on their side.
Come on, let's start the show, please.
Listen, I'm waiting for you.
You're the one that opened it by ripping me, and in essence, I think ripping you too for not.
Yeah, but I'm used to it.
Playing.
A classic shirt, though. A classic shirt he's wearing.
Look at that thing.
I did it for it was cold out, and so I made sure to get a sweatshirt.
Why didn't you give it to me? Because I could have used it more than you.
Dude, that couldn't even fit on your arm. What are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a little
snug.
It's a little snug.
I think it's a ladies, but
all right. Let's move on.
That's neither here nor there.
Do they make that in men's? I'm not sure. Anyway.
I hate it here. Okay, so let's get to some big Dolphin topics. Obviously, the season's over. We're moving on. The big
topic
to get over
the disappointment of that. Yes. That's what I'm doing.
The big topic going forward is what do you do with Tua's contract?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to be entering a contract here. Here. Do you extend him? Do you let it play it out and see what happens? What do you do, Bo?
If you listen to Chris Greer in his first, you would think he's all in on giving him whatever he wants. I don't think that's the case, and I think I've talked to enough people, and I think you can kind of conjure the thing up. If you're a top 5 quarterback in this league, you're going to be at $50+ million, right? If you're in the next tier, you're going to be 45 to 50 million. I think Tua is somewhere in that 40 to 45 million dollar range. Now, if he would look,
it's not Game Changers money, but
you let me know what that is.
Yeah, I don't think I've got a check from Game Changers
I've got a contract, $45 million.
But however,
for 4 million shows.
So I think the consensus is that yes, you should give him a contract.
Yeah.
But you can't get into that $50-60 million because you still don't know, because he still has. I think right now in the league he's probably a top 8 quarterback, maybe not broaching the top 5.
But you'd sign him, is the point.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I would do. I would play him on his contract, because he's got 1 more year left in the contract. They extend his contract, and I would wait until
You would not sign him now?
No, I'd wait till that would be. This is just me personally. I want to see what he does next season. So there's a couple issues with him. If he can resolve those issues, much like he resolved the issues with his injuries last year, let's give him this offseason to resolve the awkwardness we see with him in the huddle when he's got the ball, trying to get out of there, trying to find a place to throw the ball. Some of the bad throws he makes, some of the interceptions that he throws where you just wish he could pull it back. I think those can be resolved. Let's see if he resolves them. And look, if he doesn't, we're going to offer you 35 to 40. If you do, we'll maybe drop up into that 50. Pay you. The better you play, the better we pay. I would do it in that situation. He may not be happy with that.
Well, first off, I'd agree with you on the money.
Yeah.
But again, we're still talking, if you're going to sign him, whether it's 40 million, 50, it's huge.
No doubt.
You're all in either way. I think you're all in if you sign him. But if he took less for less years, I'd probably lock him up. I know we all remember the end.
Yeah.
The guy led the league in passing.
Yep.
The guy was healthy for 17 games for the first time. The guy had the same coordinator and system consecutive years for the first time in his career. He did lose his center.
Yeah.
He did lose his interior lineman, lost his left tackle at times.
But that line was not a problem
not
all
in the
year
playoffs.
long.
No, most of the year was very good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying towards the end, and you lost the best running back in Mostert. I think the injuries around him had a factor.
Sure.
And I agree
100%.
with you, Bo. But if Tua says, "I love it here," I know you don't want to give me the 5 for 275. Give me 3 years.
Yeah.
At $120. I think I signed him.
That's where I think
That's my opinion.
That's where I think it's going, because he's going into those conversations with everything you just laid out. His agent knows that too. They're going to go in. I think it's a 2 to 3 year extension where the guaranteed money is probably more than you would expect.
That will never happen.
He won't do it?
Tua will want him to do it. His agent will not allow it.
NFLPA will be a lot of pressure. I agree.
Absolutely not allow it. There's a structure in place that they've carved out for a long time, and it's not. Tua's just got to get a little better. He's just got to play a little better.
So let me ask you two things on that. So number one, you think he's going to be Christian Wilkins. They can't come to the agreement, play it out, let's see what happens. You have a great year, then you're going to break the bank.
Yes.
Number two, the things you talk about.
That's what I would do.
Right. The things you talk about.
Yep.
Not so comfortable. Maybe getting rid of that ball too quickly at times.
Yep.
The cold weather.
Well, there's another one.
The top opponents.
Yes.
From a football standpoint, those are all things a player can improve in?
I think you can improve on the throwing. You can improve on getting in and out of the pocket. Where you do it, you can improve on those things. Some of the other things you can't improve on. How do you play in the weather? Let me tell you how you can learn to improve playing in the weather.
Yeah.
Get a home field game.
Right. You don't have to play in the weather.
No. Listen to me. When we played and when we went to the Super Bowl, we did it 2 times. Yeah. We went to another AFC championship. And every game we played was at home, in our backyard. Yeah. And you know what that meant? Buffalo coming down and, oh, geez, we got to go down and play in the heat. We've been in the cold for 2 months. Instead of that flip of going up to the cold, they all had to come down to us and play in our climate.
Listen, that's the Patrick Mahomes thing. He's about to play his first ever game.
We're the only team in the AFC East that has that advantage in the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
get them down to your place. And you can own it.
That goes
Don't
back
get them down there and you got no shot.
Ironically, part of it goes back to the problem because they had that in their hands that last game of the regular season at home. Yep. They didn't have to win in the cold weather. It was at home against Buffalo. You had the lead in the second half, and because of special teams and because of offense, you let the Bills win that game. And is right. The offense couldn't move the ball, and you gave up the punt return.
They also lost the season on Monday night against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, there it is.
That was a home game
that's
too.
Where they lost.
And that was a home game also.
Yeah. But listen, outside of Tua, let's move on here because we could spend 18 hours on Tua. But Mike McDaniel, he was asked the question about the play calling, especially in the last month of the season, where the offense was just not what it was not what it looked like to start the year. Does play calling need to be in someone else's hands moving forward, Colby?
I don't necessarily think so. I think that's a big. So in October and November, it's okay that Mike is calling the plays, and now in January, it's not okay. Yeah. If you don't like the head coach calling plays because there's so much other to do, I understand that, and you got a point. Mm-hmm. You can't say good all last year, good for the first 12 games, and now it's a problem. I don't look at it that way. I think they got a pretty good handle the rest of the game. I don't see any major problems.
I don't see any reason why Mike McDaniel would step away from that. It's his passion. It's what got him in the league. It's what got him this. It's what got him this job. I think much like Tua, and I know Mike will do this. He's going to go back and he's going to review everything he did, 100%. and he's going to be hard on himself. And I need to improve here. And I think he will be a better version of himself year 2 than he was in year 1. I believe he'll be a better version of himself in year 3, more grounded, feel more comfortable in that role, and more comfortable maybe to even to expand his role a little bit more. And I'd like to see that.
Yeah, to emphasize that point we talked about last year, how he'd get away from the run so much, and this year they ended up being
Meanwhile, San Jose State just lost their coach. He went to Arizona.
That was the fallout of the whole Nick Saban thing. The dominoes fell, and San Jose State ended up somehow at the bottom of that
I've got a word in my mouth that I would call him, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right, more to come on Game Changers. Man, we had so much to talk about today. We're going to miss out on so much, but we have some good topics still to come.
And you look good.
The Hurricanes, I know.
What a color.
The Hurricanes have a new quarterback in Cam Ward, and Dwayne Wade's getting a statue. Who deserves one as well?
You should be like this. You should be doing this with that shirt on.
Why is that?
That little huckabuck. The Heisman Trophy pose with that. All those sent. Ivan Lippy almost win the Heisman. Who? Ivan Lippy was in the Heisman balloting back in the 1930s.
Game Changers is sponsored by your Volkswagen dealers of South Florida. Shop your 7-passenger favorites at VWFlorida.com.
Welcome back to Game Changers. The Dolphins weren't the only ones making football headlines this past week. The University of Miami has a new quarterback, Cam Ward. He was the prize quarterback in the transfer portal. He declared for the NFL but never got on with an agent, so he's going to come back, play a year with Miami. How big of an impact can this actually have for a team that has not been very good the last 2 years, Goldie? Can this change their fortunes all the way around?
Well, I think it can. Yeah. The dude is like, and I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes because Mahomes obviously is going to the Hall of Fame and won Super Bowls. That's the style of player that he is. I actually watched some of the games that he played out there in Washington this year. They were on late at night, and the guy's electric.
Pac-12 after dark.
Now, there you go. He will scramble around, and you see, got some size to him. He'll scramble around not only to run, but to make plays on the run when things break down. They got to be able to coach him, though. I still think that's one of the big things with this University of Miami team. You got players, they had talent. You got to put the talent in the position to succeed, but this guy's a great guy.
Yep. And having said that, Mario is in the middle of another very good recruiting class.
Yes.
He's getting more bodies in there. He's getting more good players in there. Mario might need to take a couple more classes in coaching on the sideline a little bit to help this thing
There's classes for that?
There should be. Move on a little bit, or else bring some guy in to help him out. But as much as he's done recruiting, both in Oregon and here now, where are the results?
Yeah, my fear is this moves a year too late because they
I love
actually
Mario,
had a good offensive
believe me.
line this year. They had a pretty good defense. Really quarterback play really upended their season. So many games. I think this move might be a year
The
too
D's
late.
going to be solid again, though, don't you think?
Yes,
and they're still going to be able to get to the quarterback.
Some guys on the offensive line. They've lost some receivers. Colby Young's gone.
Yes,
he's enjoying.
Biggest issue on that team this year.
Yeah.
Biggest issue on that team. On UM.
Quarterback.
I think coaching. I do. You got the game where you didn't take the knee.
Then the next week after, you couldn't get players in on the goal line. You got your defensive coordinator out there.
I can't argue with that.
You're not wrong.
That coaching staff, they at times they just looked totally inept at key times.
We'll see if they can put it together with a good quarterback.
Got a chance with this guy, though. This guy's great. He's electric, man.
All right, let's move on. We do have a bobblehead here, but that's not what we're going to talk about next. Dwayne Wade is going to get a statue for the Miami Heat. My question to you guys is, get the whiteboards.
It's whiteboard time?
It's whiteboard time.
By the way, great credit to you two bringing these things to Kansas City in that freezing cold weather.
You two. Just me.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. You got to admit you didn't do anything.
All right, guys. Who in South Florida sports?
I brought my earpiece.
Yeah, he was there. That's all that matters.
All right.
Bo, we'll start with you. Who in South Florida sports history deserves a statue but doesn't have one yet? Go ahead. Pat Riley.
Is that a garbage can? What is that?
That's a basket. That's a hoop.
It's like a garbage can.
That's a hoop. Come on, man.
With the two of you.
The hoop right there. Pat Riley.
No, look,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Pat Riley. This Heat franchise was stumbling and bumbling their way through the NBA. Pat Riley gives them legitimacy, and they have been legitimate since then. They brought championships, they brought banners, they brought fans to the stadium. It's a legitimate, and they brought and he's given his mentor or his protege Eric Spoelstra, put him in the Hall of Fame. Pat Riley.
To that note, they should also hang one of his custom suits up in the.
Well, it's got to be in an Armani.
No, what they should do is they should hang a pillowcase when he rolled out the rings when the big three had to meet him. He brought him in a pillowcase.
All right, Goldie, what do you got?
Well, along those lines, I was trying to be, kind of funny with it.
Right.
But I figured I'm going to go serious, and it's along those lines.
Oh my God.
H. Wayne.
Very good. H. Wayne Izenga.
Some of our franchises
no
would not.
Baseball, no football, no hockey.
Franchises would not exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
And think about this, Wayne, the expansion, $50 million.
Yep.
These franchises are worth about $1 billion now. So I'm going to go with Wayne, and there he is, the late Wayne Izenga, at a time where South Florida only had the Dolphins and UM.
When we were coming up with this segment, I said to Leo, our producer, Goldie and I are going to end up picking the same person.
Let me tell you what.
Because Mr. H.
Oh, come on.
Mr. H.
Let me tell you what. You add in all his philanthropic.
Well, and Marty too, his wife, Mrs. Izenga.
People around South Florida, in particular in Broward County, really have no idea how much they did behind the scenes.
100%.
Unbelievable family, unbelievable what they did.
That's pretty good.
Unbelievable
And that was good by you, Bo, right?
I went out
Sharing
of
a brain over here.
I thought we'd be a little juvenile and go funny on the like I was expecting him to put Chuck Carr or something like that.
Who? More on game
Gary
changers when we
Sheffield,
come
maybe?
back.
Yeah.
We're talking
Richie
NFL
Incognito.
playoffs. Who's the surprise team right now? Who we think might
I was going to put Mike
make some
Piazza.
noise?
He spent a week in South Florida.
It's been a day.
Game changers will be right back.
I think we can.
Welcome back to Game Changers. The Dolphins are out of the playoffs, but doesn't mean we still can't talk about the NFL, guys.
It still gives me agita right now.
I know we're all in Kansas City, all three of us. We basically settled on the Ravens possibly winning the Super Bowl, but after the first week of the postseason, has another team kind of piqued your interest and be like, hey, you know what? These guys might go on a little bit of a run here. Bo?
You know, I'm gonna jump on the Lions a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the Lions might be that team.
Fun.
They're a fun
might be the
team to
funnest team
watch.
in
They're a physical team. They've got good players. They're certainly well coached. They've got
Dan Campbell,
great attitude. And look, Nick, they're 2 steps away, man.
Yeah.
2 steps away.
That's it.
In the battle of former Dolphin interim head coaches.
That's right.
In Detroit on Sunday. Bowles and Campbell.
Do you have a team that's kind of surprised you over the weekend?
Surprise? Well, Green Bay was a surprise.
Yeah.
The way they pounded Dallas, but I thought Detroit would get through it. Now, the big key to me for Detroit was Tampa Bay beating Philly because they were at Ford Field with Eminem and the crazy crowd again, instead of going on the road. And I still think the Ravens are the class of the AFC.
Yeah.
I do think Buffalo, now that they finally got the Chiefs on the road in the playoffs, I think Josh Allen and the Bills win what's going to be a classic game. But I do think Baltimore rested with what they have. And, Houston's a great story, but the Texans are very young. I think Baltimore will host Josh Allen and the Bills, and the Ravens still win.
Ravens-Bills, I wouldn't mind seeing that one. That'd be two very good football teams.
It's starting to feel like the Bills are a team of destiny. Or the Ravens definitely the juggernaut, but the Bills to come back from 6-6.
We had them dead in the water.
At this point,
we had them buried.
It's funny in the playoffs. It only takes 1 week to get all the imposters out.
Yeah.
Right, and then here you go. Oh, these are the now this is
the cream of the crop.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, 14 teams in the NFL make the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple of teams that probably don't necessarily belong there, or a game or two away from not being there. But yeah, I think it still goes through the Ravens, but. Yeah, that Bills-Ravens matchup. We're already skipping ahead past the Chiefs, even though we shouldn't.
I think the Bills win. I think it's going to be a great game this weekend.
It's going to be wonderful.
But I think the Bills, now that they got it at home, and if they don't beat them this week, Buffalo, they're never going to beat them.
This is the time. This is the time to beat the
Because
Chiefs.
Mahomes doesn't have the same weapons. The receivers aren't great. And then everyone's on the Detroit band. Everyone's forgetting about the 49ers. They were the best team in the NFC all year, and they got the home field.
And let me tell you what, the people in those stands are going to affect the game as much as the players on the field. I mean, they're a brutal bunch up there.
It'll be fun. By the way, shout out to the Green Bay Packers for consistently finding quarterbacks. I think they've only had like 4 in their franchise.
Ridiculous,
How about that?
Amazing.
They might have 3 quarterbacks for 45 years.
And they got the formula.
Wild.
Nobody starts from day one. You sit on that bench and you learn for a few years.
All right, more on Game Changers when we come back. We're getting to what's trending. We'll find out what's going on.
What's trending.
That's right. Trending
Very
in the right
nice.
direction.
Very nice.
Trending in the right
See
direction.
if I'm trying to get Pat Surtain that job.
Welcome back to Game Changers. No one is happier to be back in South Florida than me and Kim Beaucamper. It was a struggle out there in Kansas City. All the while, Steve Goldstein is here by his pool, laughing at us the entire time.
I was chuckling a little bit.
How bad did it look on TV from your vantage point? Because for us, it was.
When you guys were on,
it was brutal.
You looked frozen.
I was.
You played it off fairly well, Cunio.
Did I? I mean,
yeah. See now, Cunio, you look cold with the nose, but you're handed Beaucamper. Turn around, Bo. Turn Beaucamper. Yeah, Bo's looking miserable. Look at this. You're miserable right there. You got tears coming down.
You see that jacket right there?
Yeah.
When I walked
1975 jacket.
When I walked on the bus, I threw it on the ground and left it there, and we drove off.
Really?
It may be still sitting in the parking lot at Arrowhead Stadium
all
now.
All we were missing was like a trash can with like burning trash.
No, but you did the job, and I thought you looked like it was 0 degrees, and you played it off.
No, it wasn't 0. It was below 0, my friend.
It was -27 at kickoff.
Bo Camper, for the big money you make, suck it up.
And you know what it reminds me?
You've been in Tonawanda when it was cold. When it was really cold, right?
Yes, sir. -20. I've been there.
It was like hurricane coverage, where you're like kind of intrigued about the Category 4 storm.
You should have been like that,
and then
Bo
you're like,
Camper.
you know, I never want to do it again.
No.
Yeah, next time we'll definitely do it sleeveless.
That's
So
what
let me tell you, the best
If we
thing.
pay you $30
the
million,
best thing
will
I
you go
saw
see us?
was like I turned on the TV on ESPN, and the first thing I see is Jeff Darlington was in a clear net. He was in a clear
like
bubble.
that bubble.
He was in a bubble.
He was the bubble boy.
He had pizza in there with
Yeah.
him and everything, a cup of coffee.
Was that thing
Must
like
be nice.
insulated?
Yeah,
Is that,
we had a heater in there.
now that's
We did not have that. We had like the hot chocolate vendor next to us.
So they're talking to him, and he answers. He unzips it, and then he starts answering the
saw
question.
that. He was in like a-
it was
like a
awesome.
tent on the field.
It was awesome.
Where's the Mike Cunio tent?
We did not have a Mike Cunio tent. And true story, because I have a picture of it. I had hot chocolate with me. Because I was like, I gotta stay warm. By the end of the show,
Yeah.
that thing was a rock.
Yeah.
It
Really?
was rock solid.
Done.
The hot chocolate.
Hey, well, I went, my freshman year, I went to school in
like a
Minnesota.
science project.
I went
Yeah.
to school in
I felt
Minnesota.
like
We
a
would
science project.
get the milk from the cafeteria.
Okay.
Put it on just put it out of our window, and in a half hour, it'd be frozen.
Yeah.
Jeez, you guys are good with the science, the two of you.
Yeah. Got to take advantage of it.
Well, it was very nice here in South Florida.
I know.
Saturday was sunny, and then Friday was.
Are we
and
done?
Day
We're
of the game
done.
was pretty
We're
nice.
done yet?
Yeah.
We're done. All right. Thanks for
Thanks for
hanging.
Thank you, Matt.
See you, Chucky.
We'll see you next time on Game Changers. A warmer.
You're fine now.
Warmer Game Changers. Yeah,
My
it's
core is still
It's so nice in
still
here.
chilly in there.
We're never
Core.
pretty tight.
But we're
Your abs are
core.
pretty tight.
But we're never leaving. We're never leaving again. We're
Just get
staying
home
here.
field next year just for the two of you.
That's right.
We just
Game
send a
Changers.
phone
We'll see you
and leave
next
it out
week. Thanks
there.
for joining us.